Do you feel like a traveler? Setting out on an adventure, experiencing new parts of the country, and nowhere in particular to call home for a while has been a refreshing, liberating experience from the seated exposure we have in life. And honestly, getting to joyride a beach on a random Tuesday and trying new coffee spots has made us feel more like a local as opposed to someone who's just passing through. And this week, we pack it up and head from the coastal area of Oregon up to Silver Creek, Washington, which is close by Mount Rainier National Park, if I'm not mistaken, and we stay outside of its borders at a little hip camp right down by the river. Honestly, after 7 months of traveling, I'm not so sure it gives me the impression of myself that I'm a traveler. And I hope by making this video, I can answer this very question. Do you feel like a traveler? One thing that I can for sure say is that traveling itself comes in certain measurable phases. Travel day. Time to remove ourselves from this beautiful coastal town of Pacific City that we have called home for the past 2 weeks. Honestly, I'm not too crazy on having to stay at these campgrounds cramped up next to everybody else, but for the price of the yearly membership, it's just simply what works for now. Maybe that'll change in the future at some point. Another thing for certain, I'm starting to become a bit anxious when it's time to pack it all up and move from the place you just had a chance to call home, because as of late, we have experienced a few repairs and a few things just not going our way. One way or another, we need to figure out this whole packing up thing, as I don't think my mental health can take much more of our brand new rig falling apart on us. And this part of travel is something I would call the uprooting phase, taking everything we have known for the past 2 weeks and just leaving it all behind. Seeing if the grass grows greener on the other side, familiar sights, smells, and our cozy little campsite, it all has to go. Even our favorite coffee shop, which serves the best white mocha with 3 shots of espresso. Even the dogs have enjoyed the beach out here on the Oregon coast and will miss the wide open spaces and soft sand that it offered. It is nice to spend enough time in one place to get to know some of its secrets and some of its more well-known landmarks, enough to consider yourself a bit more than a tourist. And becoming a professional packer really took us about a month or so to get the hang of it, even though I feel as if there are still a few things we are always learning the hard way, but somehow we seem to manage. And from this moment until we settle in for the night somewhere new, there will be a constant nagging voice in our heads on what if this, what if that, and should we have done it this way? And the old faithful, did we remember to do this? Will the tires hold up? Will we hit that branch? Do we have enough clearance? And can we make that turn? Traveling as a lifestyle is full of these moments, little surprises, and just having enough time to go check out a place or two. We rode up from our hip camp to the Chinook Pass to see the sunset on Mount Rainier for the first time. This ended up being a little preview of what's to come when we return for a day hike this coming weekend. But one of the things I have noticed is how early the sun rises in the northern states. First glimmer is typically around 4:50 to 5 o'clock in the morning or so, and by 5:30 it's bright and it's time to get up. The RV life comes with check-in times as well as check-out times. And after a quick goodbye to the host, we are on our way to our 2-week stay in Silver Creek, Washington, using our 1,000 Trails membership. When arriving somewhere new, the act of settling in is a methodical one, as the choices of the site, whether or not it has a good view of the sky for Starlink, or if it comes with full hookup or not, feels like a game of tug of war. Learning that if we only have a choice of either of those 2 options, going with a clear sky takes precedence has taken us several attempts to become a rule in our playbook. And the last piece to making our next 2 weeks feel like home is getting enough groceries to last us. But once settled, we can finally relax some and enjoy the place we ended up at. So, do you feel like a traveler? Mostly, I would respond. Most of this way of life is traveling, one way or another. Whether it's traveling to a new trail, traveling to a new state, or traveling to your new home for 2 weeks. Traveling is involved every step of the way. And thank you for being here, traveling with us, being a part of our story, and we will see you again next week in our next adventure.